Hi guys, my name is Akshay and I am a manifestation coach. All my contact info is in the description. So today I'm going to tell you guys a story, and at the end I will tell you the moral of the story and how it pertains to manifestation and how you can put this principle to use to manifest faster, to have better alignment, to stop getting triggered and to feel deeper into the state of the wish fulfilled to ultimately get what you want. Okay, so this is a very popular story in India. It's possibly a folk tale. So some of you know the story, but I think you will still enjoy my narration of it. So once there is a man, okay, this was a long time ago. So there was a man and he was a cap seller. So he used to sell all sorts of headgear, okay, and he carried these caps in a box, okay, that he carried on his shoulders. And so once it was summer, okay, 45 degrees Celsius in India, and he was walking through the woods, he was walking through a forest, okay, to go to the city and sell all sorts of caps and berets and hats and turbans and stuff. And it was hot and he was feeling tired. So what he did was he rested under a mango tree. Okay, he rested under a mango tree. He sat down, he put down his box with all the headgear in it, and he drank some water, ate some snacks that his wife, that his beloved wife had packed for him. And a cool breeze was blowing through the woods, and he fell asleep, okay, wearing his cap on his head. So it was a mango tree, so there were many monkeys on the tree. And monkeys, as you know, they are so curious, right? So they saw the man and they saw this nice box and they thought it had food or some shiny stuff in it. And so their curiosity piqued and they looked into the box and they saw nice beautiful caps and hats and berets, and they saw the man wearing a cap on his head. So they also tried it on and they looked at each other, and all of them were looking different and good. So they began chattering excitedly and they climbed up the tree and began hooting and jumping from branch to branch. And this commotion, this little pandemonium that they had caused, waked the turban seller, okay, waked the man up. And he looked at the monkeys and saw that they were wearing all his beautiful, precious caps and hats. And he became extremely angry. Okay, and so what he did was he shouted at the monkeys that, give me my caps back, right? And he began shouting and began to express himself aggressively. His demeanor was very aggressive, and the monkeys, they saw him, like shouting, and they saw him showing his teeth, and they started snarling back at him and hooting towards him aggressively, okay, threatening him and crying out towards him. So when he expressed aggression towards the monkeys immediately returned it back. Okay, and what happened was he became very dejected and didn't know what to do. So he began to pick up little pebbles, little stones, and throwing them at the monkeys. And the monkeys became very agitated by this, and they returned this acts of violence by throwing little twigs and branches and leaves and little mangoes, half-eaten fruit from the tree towards him. Okay, and he was very perplexed, quite surprised that the monkeys are returning the favor. Okay, and again he became very dejected and he was genuinely sad because it was his livelihood was dependent upon selling the headgear, and the monkeys had it all with them. Okay, and he needed to find a way to get it back to him. Okay, and so what he began was he began screaming at the monkeys, like loudly, hysterically, with the hope of intimidating them. But they returned the favor. They started screaming back at him. Okay, but this time a bulb went, it lit up in his mind. He sort of observed that the monkeys are acting exactly the way he is. Okay, if he's throwing stuff at them, they are throwing stuff back at him. If he's shouting at them aggressively, threatening them, then they are doing exactly the same to him. They're threatening to bite him, threatening to pounce upon him. When he is, speaking loudly, okay, trying to intimidate them, they are doing the same thing. Okay, so he realized that the monkeys are copying him. They are aping him. That is where the word ape comes from, probably. Okay, so aping also means copying. And so what he did was, in a very exaggerated motion, okay, he took off his cap and threw it on the ground. He threw it on the ground, and the monkeys are like, they also took off their cap and threw it on the ground. And then he began collecting the caps and putting them in the box. And all the monkeys, they came down from the tree and they began collecting all the headgear and putting it in the box. And ultimately they helped him collect all the caps that had fallen to the ground. He put them all in his box. Okay, he closed the box, tied it up, carried it on his back to the city, cleaned all the caps, sold them for a profit. But that day he learned an important lesson. Okay, that when you're perplexed, instead of being problem oriented, be solution oriented. And the lesson that you learned today is that from this little example, that our life is our making. Our world will respond to us the way we respond, the way we act towards them. If you threaten violence and try to intimidate somebody, even if you manage to subdue them, they will within their hearts, within their minds, harbor bitterness towards you. Okay, if you are feeling sad within you, irrespective of what is happening in the world, you will experience sadness at that point of time. Okay, and if you continue to persist in that state, then you will eventually have a very sad, gloomy disposition. If you choose to awaken happiness within you, then that is how your life will look like. If you choose to awaken love within you, people will give it to you. If you awaken an abundance mindset, that is what you will experience in your life. Whatever you awaken within yourself, you will encounter in your world. Sometimes you will encounter stuff that you do not like. Okay, it's all right. You don't have to get triggered by it and blame yourself for creating it. Instead, for example, if you experienced a moment, or an incident wherein you felt triggered or rejected, okay, instead of blaming yourself for creating it, override it with feelings of fulfillment. Okay, and allow that fulfillment to be reflected in your world. Okay, so whatever you want to experience on the outside, you have to first awaken it within you. Many people are like, when I get the manifestation, then I can feel fulfilled and happy. But the manifestation comes after the feeling. It doesn't come before the feeling. So the feeling has to be awakened, the state, the consciousness has to be awakened within you first. So I hope that you enjoyed listening to this little story, okay, and that you enjoyed the message that I wanted to convey through this story. If you liked the video, please hit like, share, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell, unleash the power within you, and remember that if I said it, I already did it. Thank you.